everybody, and welcome to my sewing room. Today we're going to not only play around with PE design, but we're also going to do some stuff in the design center on my Stellaire sewing machine and touch just a little bit on some of my processes for making stuffed animals. So don't go away. Okay, so as I just said, today we're going to be in PE Design software, and I'm going to show you a little bit about my process of making standalone lace, and then we'll go to the Stellaire sewing machine, and I'll show you a little bit about how fast and easy you can use the shapes in the machine to create an embroidery or a cute little doll face, and then we'll finish up the doll, and I'll show you what I made. Okay, so I've opened my PE design software. I'm in layout and editing. And what I want to do is I want to create some lace wings for my bee. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what shape they should be. And I could bring in a picture of a bee's wing and trace around it. That always works pretty good. But since we have so many shapes in here, why not just kind of fiddle with it this way? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to pull down on it like this. So now I have this shape, and obviously the last thing I did was a satin stitch. I'm going to pull it around this way, and then I'm going to hit Control D and duplicate, or I can go up here and hit duplicate here, and now I've got a second one. Let's use the red dot to turn it so that it goes here. Then I'm going to select them both, and I'm going to hit Modify Overlap up here on the top, and I'm going to say Merge because I want those two shapes to merge together. I don't know. Let's undo that. And let's make this one smaller and put it up here, and maybe pivot it just a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to select them both. I'm going to go up to Modify Overlap and Merge. I like that a little bit better. It looks more like butterfly wing, but I think it'll do what I want it to do. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my fill. So I'm going to go up here. Make sure you have it selected or it won't give you the shapes menu here. So I'm going to hit that, and I'm going to change this way down here. There's a net fill stitch, and there's two kinds. So this one here does kind of like just a bunch of running stitches. This one here does more like little satin stitches. I don't want the little satin stitches. So I'm going to go to the net fill stitch that looks like this. And then I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to come up here to Home and duplicate. Now I want them right on top of each other. So the best way for me to do that is say over here under Arrange, move to center, and then select the other one, Arrange, move to center, and now they're right on top of each other. You can't even tell I've got two there, but I do have two. Now over here in Sewing Attributes, I have a direction. So I'm going to make this one go more this way and hit the zoom button and come up close. And see the way they cross over each other like that? That's what I wanted it to do. I can also do a little bit difference in the spacing to see if it looks even more like a net, which is what I'm trying to get it to do. I think that works pretty good. So let's just zoom all. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Zoom all. Come over here and get my select button. So now I've got two of these. If I hit my plus sign here, there's two there. The first one I'm going to select this one, the second one actually, and right click and select objects. And then up here, I'm going to say I want a satin stitch around the outside of that. And it's black, which is really what I wanted it to be. White in the fill and black on the outline. So that works pretty good for me automatically. I could go in and you know that all you have to do is select it and hit shapes and change the color right here. So if I wanted it to be a different color, I could make it a different color. Okay, so now what I think I want to do is I'm going to do it a third time. I'm going to select this one, select the first one, right click, select objects, and I'm going to go home and duplicate. So now I've got another one, arrange, move to center. But this one I want to, under the shapes menu and the fills area, I'm going to click and I'm going to go down here to decorative fill stitch. And under the decorative fill stitch over here, I have a file. I can click on the file and I can scroll through all the decorative fills and pick one that I think would be fun for a bee's wing. I think I want to do the one that's already on there, which is kind of like a honeycomb fill. This one here might be kind of fun too. And I'm going to say, okay. So that one's got that fill in it, but it's white on white and it's not noticeable. So let's change the color to black. That looks pretty good. I think I like that. Now, when I sew this out, well, okay, before we go to that, look over here on the corner where it says sequence. I want the satin stitch to be last, so I'm going to put the satin stitch here. So it shows the two white layers first, the black layer, and then the satin stitch. So that's the order I wanted to sew this out at. The other thing is that I'm going to have to sew the fill in white with a white bobbin, and then when I get ready to do the last two parts that are black, I'm going to change my bobbin to black. So it's black honeycomb stitches on the front and the back of this bee. So I think that's going to work for what I want it to be. Now, this is a 5x7 hoop. So if I go here to my design settings, that I have a 5x7 hoop, and my design is 3.15 inches in height and 3 points. So that's not a very big bee wing, and I think that's pretty much the size I want it to be for my little stuffed animal I'm going to make. So we're going to leave that the way it is too. So let's give it a try. I'm going to go up here to home, and then I'm going to save as, and I'm going to put, I have a file in my computer that I just call custom. Oh, it's actually, the custom was already open. This is my embroidery designs file, and here is my custom folder, and I'm going to title this Bees Wings. Oops. Okay, let's save that in there, and then let's send it to my sewing machine and sew it out.
Okay, so I finished my wings and they came out really nice. This is a wash away stabilizer, and I put 2 layers in, and I haven't rinsed it out yet. I'll show them to you once they're rinsed out, but I think they came out pretty good. But I also wanted to go into my design center and do my bee's face. So this is my bee, and I've got it on in my hoop. This is the head. It isn't cut out completely because I'm going to sew them together after I do the face. So I'll finish cutting it a little bit better afterwards. But I'm going to draw a face right here. So I use the app and scan the hoop, and I should be able to go into line. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Return. Go into this one because I just want a background image of where the bee is at. And then I'm going to look into here, and the picture should be right here. There it is. So I'm going to set that down. And now I want to draw a little face, and I'm going to keep it in the 5x7 hoop, and I'm going to keep it as simple as I possibly can. So I want to go into my shapes, and this little shape right here is perfect for this face. Say okay. And now you see it's way too big. So let's hit size. Bring it up here. That's about where I want that little face to go. I think I want it to be a little bit smaller. Let's make it a little bit fatter. That's a good face right there. Okay, so I'm going to fill it with color. And I'm going to outline it with the same color. Satin stitch. Okay. Pour, tap it. There we go. Now I could draw the eyes right now, but if I do that, they're going to make a hole and then fill in the eyes. I don't want it to do that. I literally want it to sew over the top of the face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this in the memory of the machine, and then I'm going to hit next and preview and set that down. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of doing a layering of these two shapes. So there's that part right there, and it says, do you want to update the background image? And I do, because I want that to be in the background when I finish this. So I'm going to say okay, and there's the face on top of the bee. And now I'm going to hit add and go back into my design center, and then I'm going to go into my memory, and there's my face that I made right there. Now I'm going to draw the two eyes. So what I need to do is go into the shapes. I'm going to keep this really simple. I'm going to say a circle, size it, make it smaller. This may take a while. Put it up here. Still too big. Okay, let's hit plus. Plus again. It won't let me make them any smaller than that, but that's okay. We'll put an eye here, and okay, duplicate that and put an eye here. Go back. Now I want to fill those with color. Whoops, I goofed. I'm not doing the outline. I'm actually, for the outline, I'm going to say do not sew because I don't want it to have an outline. So if I tap both of these, this should be do not sew. For the fill, I'm going to make it black. Say okay. There's the fill. Now I want to get rid of this face because I don't want to do it again. So I'm going to say do not sew and hit this so it goes away. That's still do not sew. Pour, hit this, whoops, pour. So that should go away too. So now I should just have the two eyes. And I want to put a little white dot in the middle of the eye. So I'm going to go into the paintbrush and tell it to do a satin stitch in white. And then I'm just going to tap like that. Whoops, let's undo that. Let's make it over here. There. Now I'm going to hit next. Let's see. I think I got it. So let's hit preview. Okay. There's the eyes. Let's set them down. Okay. On top of that. So I've just made that little face. So now I want to add a name on the front of this little guy, and I think I want to put it right here in the black. So I'm going to hit add, and I'm going to pick a letter, and let's do some pretty lettering here. B, let's make it small just to see how it comes out. Lowercase, R-E, N-D-A. Set that down. It's going to be right here. Now you see it's black. So let's change the color to white so I can see the name. Okay. And then let's make it size and bigger. And now I want to turn it just a little bit. So edit, rotate. Let's just rotate it like 10 degrees this way. I misspelled that. So what I need to do is if I hit this, I can actually scroll, and a lot of the machines won't let you do this, but the Luminaire and the Solaire let you do this. I scroll to that D, and I'm just going to delete it. So I was able to fix that name so it looks the way I want it to be. So now I'm going to embroider this onto my B, and then I'm going to stitch the pattern and turn it inside out and make a little stuffed animal out of it. And we'll see how that comes out. Okay, so we're sitting in one of my favorite spots in my whole house. I know a lot of you know that I'm a widow, and my entire living room is actually my sewing room. If you look back at some of the videos, when you see me sitting at a cutting table with the dolls behind me, that's my living room, and this is my bedroom. This is where I like to sit and do a lot of my hand sewing and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to show you that I finished the bee. And this is the way it looks like when I finish something like that. I actually did all the embroidery, and then I laid a black piece of fabric over the top and sewed around it. I made the antennas nice and long so that I could put pipe cleaners in it. And I laid the pattern piece down on top as I sewed, so I get it as thin as I possibly can on the top. I show that technique for doing fingers in one of my doll videos that are way back, probably 2 or 3 years ago in my videos. But it does make it very, very easy to get around really tiny little shapes when you're trying to do that with dolls. And then you just peel it off the top like this. And then you turn it inside out. I always use... Okay, so what did I do with it? I always use a hemostat. Hemostats are absolutely fabulous because you can get into these really small spaces. If I take this and I put my hemostat up inside the head and into these little antennas, I can grab hold of one of them and work my way through. Pull it out like this. Pull it through like this. And then I'm going to grab hold of that and pull it out, and then I can go down in here. This is one of the best ways to turn any kind of a doll inside out, just grabbing the insides with your hemostat, especially if you've got little teeny tiny pieces that need to be turned inside out, like little tiny hands. Okay, this one obviously needs a little more clipping because the legs didn't turn inside out very good. But that's how I turn it inside out. And then I go ahead and I stuff it. So, ta-da, here's my finished bee. I just think it's so cute. I put pipe cleaners in the antennas and I glued little pom-poms on the ends like this. Let me see if I can bring him. So you can see him really cute. Isn't that cute? And there's the wings on the back that are done out of the lace that I created in PE Design. And I just glued those on the back of the doll. This is not a child's toy. Obviously, it's just something that's really fun as a decoration to have in your house. I got the original pattern from a Tilda book. So if you've ever seen Tilda books, look them up. She makes the cutest, adorable little things. But I'm a rule breaker, and I always have to change things. So I did change a few things up, including making the lace wings. It's got little floppy arms. And then I glued a button on the face to make the nose, which I thought just kind of finished up that little face really, really well. So whether you watch because you learn something about PE design or learn a little bit about doing some stuff in the design center on your Luminaire or Solaire, I hope you learned something. I hope you just had fun watching the video. And I am going to come back and finish doing the quilt classes next week. So don't forget to come back and watch Quilt 101 number 2. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.